Today I wanted to make some cinnamon, and these are going to be cinnamon and date and walnut cookies. You can also just use raisins if you would like, and you don't have to add the nuts. You can really use any kind of fruit. You could, like I said, use raisins, you could use apricots, you can use figs. I just happen to have dates. I like dates, so I thought I would make it with dates. This recipe is adapted from an autoimmune cookbook, so it is appropriate for anybody with any autoimmune issues, definitely gluten-free and dairy-free, and really sugar-free because I'm using coconut sugar. So what I started with, I already have, let me show you here, I already have mixed up in my bowl. I beat together my all vegetable shortening. You can use palm shortening. This is plant-based, so all vegetable plant-based shortening. You could use Crisco if you wanted to as well. I just use this instead of Crisco. I have Joseph's sugar-free maple syrup. This you can get, both of these, in fact all of this you can either order online through Amazon, you can get it through Thrive Market, you can get it at Whole Foods, you should be able to find it at Sprouts. Sometimes it's difficult to find the Joseph's, but typically I can find it at Whole Foods or at natural grocers. You can find the shortening, you can find the coconut sugar, which I'm using coconut sugar in this. The maple syrup I had mentioned, and I also have vanilla. This is just the vanilla that I make, but you can use any kind of vanilla that you happen to have. So I had those in here and I creamed it all together. And now I'm going to be adding in my Tigernut Flour, which, let me show you the Tigernut Flour. Again, ordered online. You can get it from Whole Foods, Sprouts, natural grocers. Tigernut flour is made from tiger nuts. Tiger nuts are actually Brazil nuts, full of selenium. So it's nut-based, it is not grain-based. I'm using arrowroot powder. Again, plant-based, not a grain-based. So we have arrowroot powder, we have the Tigernut flour. Those are our basic flours that we're going to use. Also, I have gelatin. This gelatin I've ordered online from Dr. Amy Meyer, specifically for people with autoimmune issues, celiac issues. But you can use any kind of gelatin. You just want to make sure it's unflavored gelatin. So you don't want to use like strawberry jello or anything like that. You want to use an unflavored gelatin. And I have in here salt. I have cinnamon. I have cream of tartar, and I will have this recipe all written down for you. Baking soda. I believe I mentioned salt, so I think that's everything I have that I just spilled all over the counter and all over me. But that's okay because I'm going to use my Norwex dishcloth. I'll wet it and I'll pick it all up, so it'll be very easy for cleanup. So now what we do is we just slowly start adding this in, and I will beat. You want to start out beating slow so that you don't end up wearing the flour, and you're going to add a little at a time. Now this is going to be a very stiff dough, and if it's too stiff and not real malleable, then you may want to add a little bit more of your palm shortening or your vegetable shortening, your Crisco, whatever you're using. I'm going to add a little bit more. We'll mix that in. At the end, we'll stir in our dates. And like I said, I'm going to put some walnuts in it just because I want to. You can definitely use raisins. In fact, the original recipe calls for raisins. Turn it up just a little bit more. And I'll show you before I add the next one in. So you can see, I think here, that it pretty much just looks like coarse sand at this point. So let's add in the rest of our dry ingredients. Turn it up, we'll blend this in. Now that it's kind of getting blended in, I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. Get it all mixed in. Then I'm going to stick my hands in it and we'll kind of play with it. The oven is preheating at 350 degrees. You'd use a greased cookie sheet. Typically, you probably want to use some coconut oil. Or I'm going to use parchment paper. All right, so we're all mixed up. Again, give you a little look. So it's like coarse sand. You know, it looks like they're going to hold together pretty good. So I have my ball forming. If it seems like it's going to get too dry, then I would add in a little of the shortening, which I may do. Because right now what I want to do is I want to add in my dates. Put those in. I chop those up. And I'm going to add just a handful, maybe 2 handfuls of walnuts. 2 and a little extra. And I'm just going to add those in with a spatula or a spoon. Or again, I said you can mix it in with your hands because we're going to get our hands in here anyway. So you want to make sure you have clean hands. Okay. So let's see how this is all going to hold together. I'm actually going to bring my cookie sheet down here. You know, I had a spoon out, but I used it, so I'm going to get another one, give it another quick stir around. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to get a handful of it. And it is holding together, but I may end up putting a little bit more shortening in it, I think, just to make sure it's going to hold together good enough. That may be a little too much, but so I'd probably say maybe about a tablespoon, and we'll see how that's going to do. Get my hands in here, kind of mix it around. That helped. It's going to be a little bit, I don't want to use the word sticky, but it's kind of what it's going to do. It's going to make it a little bit more where it'll hold together. Okay, so we'll get another little handful, maybe about 1 inch. You can make these bigger if you wanted bigger cookies. I'm going to do about 1 inch balls. And I'm going to finish this up on the cookie sheet, and I'll show that to you, and then we'll put it in the oven. All right, ready to put these in the oven. And while I was kind of putting them together, I noticed they still were a little bit crumbly. I wanted them pretty malleable. Got a couple of them here in the beginning that might be a little dry, so I added maybe another teaspoon of the shortening. But you can tell how they feel. If they feel like they're going to hold together, then you probably have enough. But so it's not real coarse and crumbly. So I'm going to put these in the oven. We're going to bake them for about 10 to 12 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to get my Norwex dish towel out here, and I'm going to clean up my mess. Should all pick up all my flour, and everything should pick up very nicely. Don't know if you can see that, but it did pick it all up. Take it out a little here. You're getting 2 demos at one. You're going to get a video on making the cookies, and a little bit of a demo on the Norwex products. Okay, so clean up very, very easily. Come back in with my Norwex towel, kitchen towel, wipe it all down. Now I'm just going to clean up the rest while the cookies bake, 10 to 12 minutes, then we'll take them out, let them cool for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll see how they taste. All right, they've baked. I've taken them out of the oven. I've let them cool. Let me show them to you. Don't those look awesome? And I wish you could have smelled them while they were cooking. The cinnamon was just amazing. And even some of the date smell you were getting. And I couldn't wait for them to totally cool. I already took a bite. They're nice and warm. Oh my gosh, guys. These are amazing. You really should try them. So we're going to let these cool. And then they're ready. Sneak another little bite. And in the time it took for them to bake and to start cooling, I put them on a rack so that they would finish cooling. But in the time it took to do that, I have everything all cleaned up. The kitchen's ready to go. Now all I have to do is warm me up some dinner. So I hope you'll stay tuned for more videos. In fact, Debbie Blocker, I'm going to be doing one very soon just for you. You had posted on Susan's Gluten-Free Kitchen. I had asked for some inspiration for some recipes, and you asked for chicken curry. So chicken curry you're going to get. So I will be doing that fairly soon and posting that. The video, the recipes will be on Susan's Gluten-Free Kitchen Facebook page and also my YouTube channel. And then we post them on my naturallifeapothecary.com website. All the recipes are out on the YouTube channel. So I hope that you will visit and that you will subscribe if you like the recipes. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube so that I can get enough subscribers that I can actually have an official channel. But all these plus the written recipe will be posted there for you. I hope you give these a try. These are really amazing, and I don't think anybody would ever know that they're gluten-free. They're basically low glycemic sugar. There's no dairy. They're really good for you cookies. So hope to see you next time, and bon appetito.